back down.
In Oklahoma City last night, the Thunder dominated the Pelicans, albeit without Zion. But Thunder 124, Pels 92 was impressive nonetheless. This team did finish first in the West, though it is the youngest one seed ever. So, Michael Irvin, how big a threat is the Thunder to win the postseason West?
And when I watch this team, I'm going to tell you, I love watching them. And I love how even they handle the post-game interviews.
I do, too.
All of those guys come together.
Always.
Man. It's so cool to watch that. And it reminds me of those old Patriots when they walked out on the Rams, all together in a group like that and coming out. Can they go and win the whole West? Here's the difference. What I love, because I used to watch Golden State. They move that ball around so much. Man, this is great. See how they pass the ball and they kick that ball back out and drop the three. I've never seen a team like OKC. I was telling people, this team will give up 5 layups for another layup. It's almost like everybody on the team is trying to become the team. They got to bet to see who's going to end with the most assists. Yeah. Not the most points, the most assists. Because they play together and they play so unselfishly. It's great to see them play. But it's going to come back to down the stretch. Playing late, great. And when I look at it, it's the experience that Denver has of playing great late over this young team and the way Denver plays, because Denver moved out.
So you just automatically just assume Denver don't.
I'm just asking, can they win all of the West?
Yeah, but you just automatically assume Denver.
Dude, I know you ain't talking about the Lakers.
I'm just saying you automatically assuming Denver, whether it's the Lakers or not.
Well, ultimately, to come out of the West, you're going to have to beat Denver. And ultimately, I believe it'll come down to these two teams right here. This young team will have an opportunity, and it's how they play late as the game get more and more pressurized. Because each series, like I used to say, each level brings a new devil. And you got to learn how to conquer that devil. I think they'll conquer this first-level devil, but then when they see the Mavericks, when you start stepping up in that competition, or the Clippers, I'll give you that key, then things may go different. But I believe when you get to Denver, that late, great Denver will top you out. And that's why I think it'll be tough for them to win the whole West, but I love the way they play, and they got a shot to get deep in the West.
They'll beat the Pelicans. They'll beat the Pelicans. No Zion, no chance. The Pelicans didn't win a quarter last night.
I feel bad for Zion.
They didn't win a quarter, Skip. Yep. They lost every single quarter. The second quarter, it was even 28-28.
But game one went to the wire.
The game one went to the wire. But that was my first arrival in the play. You know, it was like, okay, I'm here. This is a playoff victory, a game that we hadn't had in a long time.
Yada, 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 yada. People expecting things from us now.
It was a little bit different. I don't know how far they go because of the depth. When you get out of the 5, the starters, so to speak,
that's true.
You now have a major drop-off on their bench. You just have a major drop-off.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think
how could you not? How could you not? Who gonna help him? Gordon Hayward?
No, Isaiah Joe is serious.
Oh, so Isaiah Joe's gonna help them.
The other Jalen Williams is a top-level defender, the one that ends in IN. And Gordon Hayward has been there and done some of this, so he will come off the bench and help. And they got
Gordon Hayward ain't helped them. Ain't helped them at all. Yeah. You thought he because of his name.
He will as we get deeper.
You thought because of his name, and I understand you like OKC, but the lack of depth for me, when I look at this, could be a problem when you start facing these other teams. When you start looking at, and let's just assume it is Denver, whatever. They don't have the same level. And they're young, and it's Denver. I still question
Denver's bench occasionally. That's not what it was last year.
Yeah, but it's still better than theirs. And their frontline players aren't as good as Denver's frontline players. They're just not, Skip. I understand your love for OKC. But can they get past the Mavs? Y'all love the Mavs so much. Can they get past the Clippers? I mean, like, can they get past those other teams?
Probably not ready yet.
Not ready.
No.
So I think it's going to be one of those, we're exciting, we're young, we got national commercials, and you tuning in, but then in the end, it's like, they still too young.
Yeah.
They just young.
I'm just with Michael on this, and I am from Oklahoma City, but I got to tell you, I found the 2012 Thunder hard to root for, and all they had was 3 MVPs on that team to be.
Right.
Kevin Durant, Russ, and James Harden, all on the same team. Harder to watch, harder to root for because it was a your turn or my turn team. And then James would come off the bench, and it's his turn. He's going to shoot it every time. But Russ is looking at KD. Do you want it this time, or are you going to let me shoot it this time? This is beautiful ball movement because they are unselfish to a fault.
To a fault.
And I've never seen anything like because the networks request Shai Gilgeous-Alexander after every game because he is. I thought he should be the MVP, and Chet stepped up last night and pushed for him to be the MVP. He won't win it, but he at least got his name in the hat this time.
Yeah.
But they want to talk to Shai, and Shai says, no, all of you guys come with me. So you got 6 or 8 guys, and it's almost impossible to interview them because everybody's chipping in, but they're having fun because they enjoy winning basketball games together. And Keyshawn, I'm going to refer to your famous old coach again. Bill Parcells said, you are what your record says you were. The record says they were the best team in the West during the regular season. That counts for me because the West this year was loaded with star power all the way down to the 10-seed Golden State Warriors, and they took it from everybody because they won a bunch of close games late. And I got to stand up for Chet Holmgren today because, look, he got completely overwhelmed by Wemby's just towering presence because he's not Victor Wembanyama. But he's a pretty good Chet Holmgren.
He's good. No, he's good. I like him.
He is, and remember, he's not a technical rookie, but he's a first-year player, right? First-year starter. Right. And all the narrative going into Game 2 was that Valanciunas is way too big and strong and nasty.
He tried to bully him.
And he tried to bully him. And Chet stepped up, and I think we have him. He stepped into his first 3 three-point shots and made all 3 of them, saying, okay, well, come out here and get some of me out here then. Right. Let's see what you can do out here. You weigh 100 pounds more than me.
And that was that block, remember? That was that.
Blocked him, yeah.
Right.
That was big.
It's big time because he was bumping him and bumping him, and he never got enough.
Yeah. Here's Chet. He says, I got this. He can stroke it from 3. So can Wemby. But he's just got an easy, natural 3-point stroke, and he is not afraid to shoot that shot. And it looks right to me. You know, it looks real to me. It doesn't look awkward or fake. He can do that. So Chet stepped up in the first quarter last night and goes 5 for 5 from the floor and 3 for 3 from 3 and scores 15 points on the big bad bully. And that set the tone for a wipeout. And it was impressive. And I think they'll carry their momentum down to New Orleans. Remember, New Orleans was the best road team in basketball this year. They were 29-14 on the road. A lot of that was with Zion. I give you that. But they're a really good road team, and they got demolished last night by a really good young Thunder team that's just fun to watch and root for.
No, they are. They're fun to watch and root for. I just think that youth is going to catch up with them, and the deeper they get into the playoffs.
It's funny. Shai is not a baby anymore. Right. Shai's been doing this, right? I mean,
But when I say young, I'm talking about playoff experience.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm talking about. And when you look at the teams, though, Skip, that they lost the series to this year, whether it's the Lakers, the Clippers, whoever, look at those records. That's going to tell you a lot. Okay. Because those are the playoff teams that they got to face.
Okay, so against Dallas this year, the Thunder were 3-1. That's not bad. Against the Clippers, they were 2-1. So they only played them 3 times, but they did win more games than the Clippers. So I think they would go into those series feeling pretty good about themselves. I don't think they're afraid of these teams at all.
The one thing, though, when you get into a playoff series, as opposed to us looking at the games or series over a season, you're playing back-to-back games.
That's how I always look. I look at the playoffs.
And things become different then when you're playing back-to-back games. We played you then, and then we played you and stuff.
Yeah, that's
true. You see what I mean?
Yep.
So now those little, because you know everybody and you're playing every day and you're more tuned to things because you just played that same team. And it's those little changes and those little tweaks that a coach makes that makes a huge difference here. And I can't wait to see that on that stage going up against the Mavericks or going up against Clippers, and certainly if you can see Denver.
Yeah. With you. All right, we know who the best 2 quarterbacks are in this draft, but who is